Okay, started the YouTube feed. Okay, watching the market here. The IWM is definitely the strongest index, as I've been saying all morning. Qs and SPY just not doing an awful lot. Again, I took some ENPH, some calls here. I get in at 6:35, look to get out at 7:35, and I took a couple of DXEMs. We'll see where it goes. That's all I've added here today. We closed out Twillo for beautiful profit. We're going to take a loss on Sava. I'm not rushing out of it yet, but it's not likely to do anything. We're likely going to take. We're going to have to buy it back for a debit of about $2.50. We collected about $1.50, so we'll lose about $1 on it. Very speculative trade. It was, as I had mentioned when we took it, all based on huge implied volatility, which is why the options we collect so much premium. The market makers know what's coming up here. They knew something was coming, so you had to be very careful on that one, which is why it was very speculative. Sedge, we're probably going to get rid of Sedge today. I don't see any, unless it pulls back below the 15 and the 8 later on today. I'm going to dump it. Right, so you see we've got again, we've got the IWM outperforming the market today, but even it's gone yellow right now in the current time frame momentum right here. SPY still sideways. SPYs and Qs just sideways right now. Q2104, the cumulative volume index, still holding up bullishly. So it made beautiful trade, beautiful money on the SPY overnight from Friday. That was a nice move, almost 100%, almost 100% on that one. We took nice profits in Twillo today. Haven't really posted any new wins yet, although I did take some ENPH calls and some DXCM calls. ENPH with a little bit of a pullback here. Again, these solar stocks have been pounded down a lot in the last few weeks, and the ENPH is trying to bounce. Shy 4. Thanks to whoever called it out. Yeah, I forget who it was, but just somebody called it out here this morning. Doug, do you see a SPY super system put trade on the entry soon to possibly? This was at 11:07. That was a while back. I'm not going to touch the SPY put right now. There's obviously there's potential here to get down here to this gap fill, but the T2104 is very, very bullish, and I'm not gonna mess around with shorts on the SPY or the Qs, unless I get more of a breakdown. I like the IWM long. I still like the IWM long, but you notice it's yellow. It just went to blue here. Florian, you're in the trial in this room and for the SMS. Happy with the room. Did you ever receive any SMS? Who can fix this? Florian, you haven't received an alert. Is that what you're talking about? Somebody at Rightline would have to take care of that. It depends. Are you in what country are you in, Florian? Doug lost 32 cents in the SPY Super Systems put. Setup technically was all there. As I said, I'm not touching it short right here. It broke down here, but this is just compressing. There is no trend here. If you're trying to take a downward trend, there was a little bit of a downward trend here, but again, the IWM was moving up at the same time, so I don't see taking that trade personally, but I'll be watching to the long side more than the short side right here. But if you took it off the VWAP, it stayed below the VWAP. It's still below the VWAP. If you took it off the 15, it's been basically just going back and forth above and below the 15. Just a choppy trade. I didn't put it in, Isaac, I didn't put the ENPH, I didn't post it in there, but I took the December 13th, December 13th, $68 calls, $68 calls. I paid $6.35. I got a sell order in at $7.35. They're trading at $6.32 right now. They're bouncing all over the place. ENPH is pulling down a little bit. The market's not giving us anything to grab onto here right now. So again, the only trade I saw this morning was the IWM for long right here. This was a beautiful setup on the long side as it moved up. The SPYs and the Qs, as far as I'm concerned, are just not tradable right now. Shiv, COF grinding up slowly. Yeah, COF's a nice setup. Florian, you're in Romania. Right, let me see what I can do. I'll have to tell him about that. Thank you, Florian. I'll let him know. All right, just watching the market again. Very, very compressed here. Notice the SPY just moving sideways. There's just nothing here to trade off the SPY. Triple Q is exactly the same. IWM, still the best index, but again, this was a trade this morning. Right now, we're just compressing sideways. You notice we yellow on the current time frame momentum right here. This is the current time frame momentum. Thanks everybody who's in the YouTube feed. Thanks for being looking at the room here this morning. Appreciate it. This is our SPY super system, or what's called the compass system, the SPY super system. This tells us whether institutions are in the trades or not. This is current time frame momentum right here. This is multi-time frame momentum. This is the one we focus on for our short-term SPY super system trades, which we trade the SPY, the Qs, the IWM. We traded the IWM this morning right here on this break as this went to blue and green, and we took profits on it, and now it's just moving sideways. So we don't have anything that we can trade right now as far as short-term trades are concerned. I did take some calls in ENPH here this morning, which is, you see this is yellow, but I'm looking at the daily chart in ENPH, which is right here. And ENPH is green here just went green on the daily. This is a pullback and a bounce. So this is a short-term trade for me. I'm looking to see if it'll get close to filling up to this gap fill right up here. Actually, I'm just going to take profits if it gets right to the entrance to the gap, which is right there on 77.75. That's all I've taken right now. We took beautiful profits in Twilio today. In that for 750, out for 11.95. And we also had some SPY calls overnight from Friday that we took large profits in this morning as well. All right, so that's what's going on right now. Again, this is the SPY super system. This is what tells us, the compass system tells us whether the institutions are in trades or not. Yellow and red is bearish, green and blue is bullish. Right now we've got yellow here in the current time frame on ENPH, but I'm looking at the daily chart, and SPY right here just moving flat as a pancake sideways. Ali, HIMS is really strong. Yeah, I saw the chart this morning. Big gap up on HIMS, coming right up to a horizontal resistance level at $30.44. 30.44. Yeah, it's right up against resistance. You're right. Backtrack. What is IWM? IWM is a Russell 2000 index. The indexes I usually trade at the SPY, S&P 500, triple Qs, NASDAQ, and the IWM, Russell 2000. Casey, can I take a look at Ross Stores? Sure. Yeah, big huge candle on Friday. Big volume. It's probably earnings. I don't know. But there's a daily chart on it right here. Friday had a big move up, like earnings, and then pulled back all the way back to the 100. Today it opened here, right middle of the candle and moving up. Pretty nice setup. It's a little extended. You see how far it is away from on the 8 here. It's extended up quite a ways, and it's gotten through these horizontal resistance levels. I'm not sure if I've got any more. Let me see if there's any more to the upside. So here's one right here. And another one right there. Those are the main ones. So there's your resistance, top of this candle, 1545, 155.45. It's got a little bit, another one just below there. Kind of compressed, it kind of trapped a little bit, so you need to really break out here. I don't know that I'd be trading this until it breaks out, and it's a little extended too. Doug, you said the spice, it actually broke down, but it worked. It didn't work for you. Again, I'm not sure where you took the trade on the SPY short. I mean, you could have taken it here, I guess, at 10.10. This was a pop out of the box to the downside, going below the 15, and then it just kind of rode along it, but it didn't really continue. You're trying to grab a trend here, and there was somewhat of a trend here, I guess, but again, I didn't like it, and especially I didn't like it because the T2104 is up so strong today. So, as I had mentioned, it's very, very bullish. Again, the only thing I traded was the IWM. A couple times, I'm done with. I'm not doing any of those right now. Got to wait to get some market direction. Discord man up there, off at 81% on the eBay. Nice job. eBay broke up above the 100. Pulling back a little bit now, but nice move in it. Market really just chopping right now. Good pullback opportunity in IWM. It's close to the VWAP. Well, you know, a pullback opportunity isn't really an opportunity until once you get a bounce back into the original trend. So you know it is coming down to the VWAP here. You still get yellow on your current time frame momentum, and it would be a pullback opportunity if it hit to the VWAP and then reversed off of it and started back up again. Then it would be. Right now it's just pulling back. Yeah, PBOs are pullback opportunities, but they're only opportunities once they bounce back into the original trend. interesting setup on coin here, by the way. Again, it's kind of a PBO. See the pull back here to the 8, right to the 15, right went down to it today. Back broke above the 8, staying above the 8 right here. Got room up here to 368. This is really a volatile stock. These crypto stocks are really, really volatile. Mara, that was really strong. Look at this. Mara's still going here. This was a nice pullback here. It's just moving up pretty strongly. And Riot as well, bouncing. Just looks very similar to coin here. Much cheaper stock to trade and less volatile than coin. Again, I'm in ENPH on this move right here. Likely I'm just going to take profits if I can get it to bounce, because I'm not tremendously enamored with the daily chart. It's okay, but it's not great. I'm trying to bounce. SPY moving back down again here now. Now, if you're interested in shorting the SPY, you do have an entry here. Again, you want to look for this gap fill right down here to the top of this candle where we closed on Friday, right there, around 596 or so. And just be careful. You don't want to get too far away. If you take it here, you're okay. If you're trying to take it here, you're a little bit extended from the 15. Triple Qs, same thing, but triple Qs are right inside the dynamic compression zone. And the daily chart, the SPY is got this gap fill. It's right now it's sitting just about at the high from last Thursday, 597.81. Again, I'm not chasing any of these things right now. Yeah, the markets overall is, again, the volume index is still very bullish. So you have to be aware of that. Okay, the T2104 is still moving up even though the market's moving down. Just watching the IWM for any bounce off of the VWAP here. Mara, I think of buying Bitcoin, so they're doing something similar to MSTR. Well, yeah, MSTR MSTR is a really crazy volatile stock. So Mara is much more subdued, and it's also much more bullish right now than MSTR is. It's not as volatile, and it's right now it's trading at 28.04. It's got support at 27.55. It's got resistance at $30.45. So it's about $1.40 to the upside. Still market pretty weak here now. Again, we haven't filled the gap. SPY is looking to do we'll see if it does a gap fill. Right, so here's your gap fill right there. You can see where it is, where it's trying to come down to. Pretty close to that standard deviation line right there. Triple Q is going to look pretty much the same. Triple Q's gap to there. IWM, right down to the VWAP here. This gap fills way down here, but it's been holding up pretty nicely. You notice it's been staying above the VWAP all day, unlike the SPY and the Qs. This kind of crapshoot right here, right now, to try to trade anything off of these indexes. Still got to be patient here and see what the market does. Don't know. Again, I get some speculative trading in ENPH. Some calls, small number of calls of this thing pulling back a little bit. I'll give it some time. DXCM also just bouncing off the VWAP. All right, we took our money off the SPY calls. We took our money off of the Twilio today, so we booked some nice profits. Fiserv is still set up pretty nicely here. And Sedge is against us. It is trying to pull back a little bit now. I'm going to watch it just a bit. Probably going to have to exit this thing unless I get a breakdown below the 8, which is 1207. Would have to drop down about $1.50. Patience is the key here. Again, we talk about these criteria that we've got here. Having patience is important. Having relative strength in the stock is important. Making sure the compass system or the SPY super system is set up to let you know that the institutions are either buying it or selling it or not doing anything with it. See on DXCM on the 5-minute, we've got mixed signals here. But again, this is a speculative trade for me. It's based on the daily chart, not on the 5-minute chart. Market trying to put in a bottom. Meanwhile, the IWM is now weak. Now it's back below the VWAP. So it's actually showing weakness compared to the other indexes now after being strong against them all morning. OS doing anything with the institutions. One stream. Pretty nice pop in one stream here today. Got some resistance close by. Yeah, you got mix here on the 5-minute chart. Still selling on OS. Daily chart's probably not going to be too great either. Don't even have enough info on it. You know, the volume on one stream is pretty small. 300,000 shares is also much in OS. Low volume type stock. IWM starting to break down now. Again, I'm not touching anything here. You can see the V, it's trying to break below the VWAP, the IWM, but now it's trying to come back up to it again. It's been pretty strong today. And Q's and SPY's not doing anything. Again, patience is really important. It's very important to have patience and not force yourself into any trades. Here's just regular relative strength stocks. Nothing too outstanding here. Thank you. Then you got to look at the daily chart and see what they're doing on the daily chart. IWM right back up to the VWAP. SPY still drifting lower here. Good day to sit in your hands right now. These moves in the indexes are just really difficult to trade on a SPY super system methodology right now, because it's, you know, this was okay on the SPY. I just don't like going short the SPY right now, or the IWM, even on this breakdown here, because it's been too strong today, and you know, too much risk I think too much risk taking shorts right here. I'm expecting the market is going to find some support eventually here pretty soon, and bounce. So I'm looking for more of an IWM to play to the upside. But again, we're red here. I can't really touch it. SPY red. I can't really touch it. Triple Q's red, yellow. I can't really touch them short either. Plus, they're in a dynamic compression zone here on the Q's. I'm going to take Sedge off. I'm going to take it off for $1. if I can get $1 for it. Don't like this short, and just gone too far. The market's too strong here to be taking too many shorts. So I'm going to try to close this out right now. I'm out of sedge for $1. Out of sedge for $1. Too strong right now. Again, I'm in ENPH long, which is a solar stock, and I was in sedge short for a while, and that's a solar stock as well. So I'm just I don't like the setups in sedge now. It's too strong. The market's too strong, and that short's not giving me any kind of protection to the downside, so I'm out. IWM bouncing off of the VWAP right here, still red. Yep, IWM above the VWAP, I just noticed that. Yep. Joshua. My hands came out. How about an MSTR debit spread? Yeah. Good luck with that one. I don't like the setup. I mean, I just don't like the setup. It's on the 8 exponential right here. But this thing is really wild. And I took a debit spread in it the other day, but and then it got too extended from the 8 to it didn't do any more. It had a brutal drop on Thursday. It opened up, it got a high of 543 and a low of 371. It dropped 170 points. So no, I'm not interested in a debit spread on it right now. Here's your daily chart on MSTR right now. Why would you want to go long right here? I mean, it's bouncing off the 8. I understand, but this is not a great candle setup right here. A lot better setups than that out there. Can I review the trade I took early? Symbol starts with an E. That's ENPH. You said sit in your hands. Oh yeah, I see. That's why you said your hands came out. Gary, yeah, ENPH. Let me review it. All right. All right. So here's a trade that I'm taking in ENPH. Again, solar's are strong today. I'm probably going to do this as just a day trade, although I went out to the 13th of December. See the big gap down, big move down here. See this gap fill starts right here. This is where the gap fill takes place. Let me just draw that on here if I can. Alright, so this is the gap fill. This is where the gap fill starts. I'm looking for is a move up to the entrance of the gap fill where there's likely to be resistance right there. So I'm looking for a move up to around 77. I'll be out well before that if it moves up. But this is a setup. This is it's basically just a trying to find a bottom, which it has found a bottom right here. You can see that, and bounced above the 8 and the 15. You notice the 8 and the 15 are both sloping up right now, so it is bullish on the shorter term time frame. Daily, it's still kind of crummy because it's down so deep, but I like the setup on it as far as just a fairly quick trade. That's the NPH. Okay, there we go. It's the NPH. Why I like it. I like the technical setup on it. It's not going to be great over here. Whoops. Especially if I don't put the symbol in correctly. But 5-minute chart. It's looking decent here now on the 5. But I'm also looking at the daily. And the daily is not going to be great. but I do have green on the current time frame momentum on the daily. These are all red because it's been coming down so much. So I'm kind of front running this thing a little bit with a trade in it today, and I'm only expecting to stay in it today. Again, I get in at 6:35 or something, and I'm trying to get out for $1 more. There are a lot better swing type trades than that one for a longer term trade, but the setup's pretty nice, especially with solos being strong today. Probably just a day trade, Gary, though if I have to hold it overnight, I will. The daily setup is good enough for me to hold it overnight. But if I can make $1 a contract on this thing today, I'm going to take it. That was my thinking when I went into the trade, and that's what I'll be. I'll stick with it. If I can make $1 on it, I'll get out. If I can't, I'll hold it overnight. I get in at 6:35. It's trading at 6:60 right now. If it goes to 7:35, I'm out. Take the money. I'm done. Because right now the market's not doing enough for me. I can't. It's a bullish market overall, but this morning it's drifting down. The Qs and the SPY are drifting down, and the IWM is just had a nice move up this morning. Now it's just right down to the VWAP. It's just chopping around. So I don't really have any high conviction what the market's going to go the next day or so, except for the fact that the T2104 right now is very bullish. The cumulative index is very bullish, so I have to factor that in to taking my SPY super system trades. So I have to lean to the long side, but I need to have a setup, and I don't have any right now. The SPY and Qs still look like shorts on the intraday trade. You can actually take a SPY short right here if you want to, but again, we're gonna end up getting fairly close to the gap fill on this. Gap fill's right here, so we're getting kind of close to the gap fill, and I wouldn't be surprised that's where we find resistance, support. So you're really kind of trying to pick up nickels and dimes here on these moves right now, which I don't really want to take the risk to do that. Again, I'm out of sedge for $1, close sedge for $1. Here's a bounce in the IWM right off the VWAP. Still red though. See, this is an issue. It's likely to go blue here pretty soon. But you get this dynamic compression zone above, so it's there. It just went blue. It's a little bit more of a higher risk type trade because it's been coming down so much, and the market itself is fairly bearish at the moment, the SPY and the Qs. So again, if you can get in right close to the VWAP, it's okay to try to take it because it's been so strong today. But right now, I'm not overly convinced. Q's still pretty weak here. That's why I'd be real cautious with the IWM. It's been strong today, but it's again, it's above the VWAP, and it's gone blue. But you know, it's not moving much. See, you got any more questions here? How many blue periods would you want to see before I enter the IWM trade? Well, it's not really the blue periods. Once I get a blue here on a close, I'm okay with it. The problem is the market is so choppy here right now that I got to come in really close to the. If I wait for too many blues, it's going to be too far away from the VWAP. So, I'm okay going in right here. With a stop right down if it closes below the VWAP. So I've got limited downside risk on this thing. But it's not a warm fuzzy feeling as far as this market is concerned. It's trying to find support. Well, it appears to be, but I mean, look at the Qs. They are not able to find support, and the SPY has not been able to find support either. So again, IWM is outperforming, but the market is overall kind of weak. So that's why you got to be really cautious in this thing. You want to get in really close to support and resistance levels, so that you don't have much downside risk in these trades. Well, I'm looking for momentum with a bigger candle, sure, but that would be nice. But I don't think we're going to get that right now because we've had the small candles. Again, probably the best trade right now is not to be trading at all. That would be my opinion. Wait for the market to give us some. We might not get anything today, or we may get a direction one way or the other after lunch. Who knows? Right now it's about 12:10, and the market is just not doing anything. I mean, this is putting a new all-time high today on a big gap up, and it's just sitting. Again, I took some ENPH calls, kind of a speculative trade. I took some DXEM calls, kind of a speculative trade. Very small size, just looking for quick profits in it if they move. But right now, trying to find stocks to take. I want to take some more swing trades. I want to go some more long swing trades, but I got to wait for the market to give me the setup, and I've got to be. I need to take the strongest stocks, but I need to have some market tailwind to help me out. And right now, the market's not doing anything. Again, I'm out of the team today. I took profits in a team called debit spread. We took nice profits in Twilio this morning. We took nice profits in the SPY calls from overnight. Those worked beautifully from Friday. And we took a loss in Sedge. And that's it. I mean, really, the last 2 weeks have been really, really strong for us. So I don't want to just dive into stuff just to have trades on. I want to be patient and wait. I've already booked quite a bit of profits this month. and I'm looking for some more opportunities, but I don't want to force anything. It's really important to try not to force. APP pulling back, Joshua. Yeah, I saw that this morning. Again, nice setup in APP. It's coming right back to the 8. I like the stock, but I need to see it that this pullback is going to work. NNE that we had last week made nice profits on that. Again, I was concerned it was getting a little too extended, which is why I took the trade off quickly on Friday afternoon, and good thing we did. This is what happens when they get extended from the 8. They come back down to it. So that's why you don't want to, when you see something like that, you got to be really cautious. See how Deers keeps moving up here, but do I want to chase it up here? I do not. It's too far. DXCM just about at the 100. ENPH trying to move up into it toward that gap. Fiserv pretty flat today. You can see it's still a nice bullish setup on Fiserv. This is a really nice chart. I mean, I look at this chart. This is a chart I show for what kind of price action you want to see on a nice long. This is just beautiful price action. It just follows this 8 all the way up. No big gaps. No big wild moves. Very, very consistent. The IWM breaking down now. So there's your breakdown below the VWAP. This is the danger of these trades right now. FI hit a new high today. Yeah, on the gap up this morning. Yeah, it pulled back a little bit. Still a good log though. IWM pulling back pretty hard. Still blue here, but pulling down. Again, that's why it's taking these are so tough. In this kind of a market, it's very, very difficult. Went right up to the 15, pulled back on a big red candle. That's why when your indexes are diverged like that, when you've got like IWM moving up and the SPYs and the Qs moving down, something's got to give. Either the SPYs and Qs are going to start moving up, or the IWM's going to start moving down. So that's why you got to be in these things for just short duration trades. Hey Jules, welcome Jules. Jules are from on the YouTube feed. Good morning. Pretty choppy day so far. Market has not given us any indication that it wants to start a rip up. We had IWM with a really nice move up this morning. Very good relative strength to the market. Qs and SPY pretty garbagey, basically pretty garbagey. They're just kind of chopping. So again, a really good day to sit on your hands and watch. Look for some setups. Again, I'm looking for some swing trades to take. But right now, I want to wait to see what the market does. Twillo was a beautiful one today. Really, really nice profit in Twillo. In for 750, 740 to 760, out for 11.95. Take those all day long. $4.50 profit on a 740 entry. Is that about 60%? Pretty good. Jules, thanks. I appreciate that. Been a great day so far. Happy to be learning from you. I appreciate that. Thanks for being here in the YouTube feed. There's my room right over here with the compass system or the SPY super system on here, letting us know if the institutions are buying or selling. You can see on the IWN we're going from red and yellow, which is bearish, to green and blue, which is bullish, and it just keeps chopping back and forth. No good direction except for this morning. You see on the early, right here, I took a SPY super system trade right here off this pop on the IWM this morning, and this moved up beautifully. Notice the institutions are buying on the current time frame momentum. This is what I follow for the intraday trades. And I look at both of these, the current time frame momentum and the long-term momentum, and the multi-time frame momentum when I'm looking at swing type trades, and then I look at the daily chart to determine that. But IWM is still coming down pretty hard here. Just no reason to jump into anything right now. All the indexes are bearish at the moment. If I look at my T2104 right now on the cumulative volume index, is flattened out. Here it is right here. So this tells me what the cumulative volume index is on the 5 minutes, taking all of the volume on down stocks and subtracting from all the volume on up stocks, and notice we've been bullish all day. Market pulling down. This is the SPY right here, these red and green lines. SPY coming down, T2104 still moving up. Still moving up. Now it's flat, pretty much flat as a pancake right now. Market coming down, but the T2104 is still flat. So we still have a little bit of a bullish sentiment to the market. So you want to be careful with shorts right now. The SPY short here breaking down, the IWM breaking down here is probably a decent short as we went yellow for the current time frame momentum going to sell. But I mean, it's a tough day to be trading this kind of stuff. Q's already filled the gap, Alejandro. Thank you. AMLX bouncing up. AMLX. Yeah, I'm still in this thing. This AMLX in the gap. I'm still looking for a gap fill on this thing eventually. Here's the AMLX chart right here on TC2000. So you can see the daily chart pretty clear. See the big huge gap. Got into the gap. It's pulled back right to it, right to the 200. Now it's trying to bounce again. I'm still in the trade. IWM pulled down here. Now it's trying to put in a little bit of a hammer. Again, I'm not chasing any of this stuff. Did take Sedge off. Took a loss on Sedge. It's actually showing relative strength, so I don't want any part of that anymore. Speculative, Joshua. KSCP. Nightscope. Terrible volume in this thing. 169,000 shares today. Yeah, that's to me it's trying to bounce, but it's right at you got a few things going against you here. One, the volume's awful. This is not a very big volume stock. I mean, there's a chart, 149,000 that day. This was a big day over here, 400,000. That's nothing. And you basically just looking at this chart. It's so choppy. It's been drifting down. It's trying to move up. Look at this big flush. This was when they split, one for 50, and you're moving up here today off the 8. But look at you right at the 200, right off the 50 right here, and the 100 right at the 100. So right at the 200. So which way is this going to go? I don't have any idea. If I don't have any idea which way a stock's going to go, I'm not going to trade it. If I can't tell by looking at the chart where it's likely to go. IWM's still heading down here. Pretty nice breakdown in IWM right here. $240.30 roughly is gap fill. He tried to accumulate it and they reverse split it. Yeah. Again, it's technically set. It's not a good technical setup for that stock, and it's such low volume. It's difficult to trade that stuff. Market's still breaking down here. Again, I'm out of sedge. And again, if you look at sedge, it's first of all, it's gotten above on the daily chart. It's gotten above all the levels that we needed to hold, the 8 and the 15, the white line here and the purple and the orange line right here, and we're above it. But if I switch over even worse, if I look over here at the daily chart, the 5-minute chart, here's the SPY right here. See the SPY coming down, the red here. See what the sedge is doing? It's got relative strength. So I'm not interested in trying to hold on to that thing with relative strength when it's above all the resistance levels it was staying below. So that's the reason I'm out of there. Everything you're watching is drifting lower, Joshua. That's because the market's drifting lower. SPY drifting down. Q's drifting down. Q's right on a pivot point here. This pivot point on the Q's. 505, roughly. Pretty close to the gap fill. On the Q's bouncing right off of it. IWM doing the same thing. So again, the pivot points are pretty close to where the gap fill is. That's one of the reasons we're getting a bounce. We'll see how much staying power it's got. Kind of a meat grinder here if you're trying to trade these things. again, a lot of times patience is what's important here. No need to rush into anything. We are getting a bounce off the pivot point on their Qs. Whether that's going to hold or not, we don't know. We have to wait and see. So again, it's about 12:30 almost. So here at lunchtime, the market is just, and again, this is going to be, again, we're coming up into the holidays here. We've got Thanksgiving on Thursday. Volumes are going to start to dry up a little bit. So you don't want to be too out over your skis with too many positions. And you certainly don't want to be in large positions right now. Joshua heading out. All right. Hey, thanks for being here this morning. Appreciate it. Hopefully tech will participate this week. I don't know. Tech stocks, technology sector, the XLK is not doing great. I mean, it's down today pretty big. Well, pretty big, 0.2%, but it's been pretty weak. But most of the tech stocks have not been outperforming. Amazon's up today, but still below the 15 EMA, and Google is up today, but it's still below the 250-day moving average. They're pretty weak. You know, I mean, they're bouncing today a little bit, but they're pretty weak. So I need to see more convincing evidence. Apple's up just 18 cents now. Apple's been extremely choppy. IWM coming back down, but just kind of flat. Joshua, one of your rules is don't bet against Apple. Rule to yourself. Yeah. Well, I trade it both ways. You know. Depends on what the chart says. But right now, if I'm looking at Apple, you know, I have no idea what it's going to do. This is the problem with Apple. It used to be a nice move up here. We had a very steady climb. Now it's just been, look at this price action. Big wicks and tails all over the place. Just no consistency at all. So do you really want to be trading a stock like that? I don't. I wouldn't certainly go short here. It's above the algo line here. It's above the 8 exponential. It's above the 15. But is it a good long? I would say not. I mean, I'd rather take a stock like Reddit that's pulling back, wait for it to bounce, and then get into it. I like Fiserv here. Looks good. NNE, which we took last week, we get out of. Fortunately, it's pulled back pretty hard this morning. But longer term, I like some of these setups. Same thing with SMR. And again, I'm in DXEM right now. Needs to stay above that blue line, which is the 100-day moving average. And I'm also long ENPH, which is pulled back a little bit right now. Again, very speculative. Those are 2 speculative trades. I didn't post them. I didn't alert on them because I don't have I wouldn't consider them extremely high probability. They're decent trades, but they're not extremely high probability. But since I do want to let you know what I'm trading, so. Siva, you don't bet against the chart. It's not a particular ticker. Yeah, I mean, I have tickers I don't trade. I don't trade Boeing. It's just too news driven. It's just a very difficult stock to trade, and so I don't trade. There's plenty of stocks out there. I don't need to be trading that one. All right, getting close to having lunch here. I'm going to cut out and have lunch in just a bit. I want to thank everybody on the YouTube feed for being in the room and watching the trading over here. I appreciate that. Again, this is, if you're interested, this is what's called the SPY super system or the compass system. This tells us if the institutions are in trades or not. Yellow and red is bearish. Green and blue is bullish. You can see right now we've got red on the current time frame momentum. This is the multi-time frame momentum. So this is for a 5-minute chart. If I switch over to the daily chart, if I was looking for swing trades, this is what I'd be looking for. You can see the IWM is bullish on the swing trade. It's green here and blue here, so it's a decent swing type long. But on the 5-minute chart right now, it's just it's junk like the rest of the indexes right now. Q's trying to bounce, and the SPY trying to bounce, but the market's bullish, so you've got to be careful with your shorts. All right, I'm going to take some lunch here. It's about 12 after 12:30. I'm going to grab something to eat. We'll come back and look for some trades in the afternoon, see what we can find. Again, I haven't really done too much yet today. This scan right here, cascading up, these just shows you stocks that have got relative strength today. If you like them, make sure you look at the daily chart before you jump into these things. Make sure that the daily chart is bullish if you're going long, bearish if you're going short. UPST trying to bounce up. All right, so listen, everybody. I'm going to get some lunch. Thank you for the YouTube folks for being here this morning. I appreciate that. If I don't get to see you again this week, have a great Thanksgiving. I'm here every day. I do the YouTube from about 11 till about 12:30 every day. And again, appreciate that. I'll shut down the YouTube, and I'll be keeping the room open all day, of course. Everybody in the room, all the subscribers, we have access to the discussion and the recommendations on stocks all day long. Not recommendations, but ones that I'm looking at for potential trades. All right, everybody, thanks very much for the YouTube folks.